Awesome. Over there, Barangaroo. See?
Hey guys, HW. I should try to get myself in the shot this time. There we go. As we see the Opera House in the background, you would have guessed I'm on a ferry. And I'm on my way to Watson's Bay. Decided I'd jump on the ferry from Circular Quay back there. And I got the clan with me. They're up the back of the boat, up the back of the ferry. We're heading over to Watson's Bay to have some lunch. Thought it'd be it's a nice clear day. The sun's out. It's a little bit cool with the wind coming off the water, but I thought I've been meaning to do it for a while. Let's head out to Watson's Bay. And we're going to have something to eat at a world famous seafood joint called Doyles. That's been serving up fish and chips since the early 1800s. I think they started out selling fish from a shack that they built on the beach. So I think there's 2 outlets out there. I think we're going to get something from the takeaway from the wharf itself, which they call the Fishermans Wharf. But there is an a la carte restaurant over there as well, which is pretty famous with the well-heeled and tourists. There's Mrs. Macquarie's chair over there that you can see. View back to the city. So I didn't actually look to see what ferry we're on. I've got to do that for you, shouldn't I? There's the naval yards over there at Woolloomooloo. So a couple of small cruisers in there and a helicopter ship, and this one looks like a refueling ship, this one. So yeah, I just quickly had a look at the front of the boat. So we're on the Gibbs. We're on the Gibbs. In a moment we're going to stop at Rose Bay. That's the first stop. And then we're going to head over to Watson's Bay after that. If you come over to Sydney as a tourist, make sure you do this little trip. It's well worth it. Get to see some nice sights as you head along the harbour looking towards the eastern suburbs. And obviously you get to see Rose Bay on the way as well. And then you get to delight in some seafood when you get over to Doyles. That's Rushcutters Bay just there, where you see all the yachts. And in a moment we'll turn around this island over here and wait a minute, I'm getting my bearings wrong. Can't remember what comes first, Double Bay or Rose Bay. Anyway, I guess we'll see in a minute anyway. Yeah, stupid HW. It's Double Bay comes first, but we've got to go a bit further around this headland up there to get into Rose Bay. Don't ask me what that island there is called, because I don't know. Look it up on the map, look it up on Google Maps. If I remember, I'll text it over the video when I get home. have another look back at the city before we head into Rose Bay. That's Double Bay over there. And then over here, we're heading into Rose Bay in a minute. Pick up some more punters over there, and before we make the final skirt over to Watson's Bay. Look at those joints over there, right on the water. Swimming pools. Just a few metres from the waters of the harbour. It's a nice looking yacht, this one. Look at the backdrop over there. You got a ferry going into Rose Bay, and then up in the sky you got a Qantas jet landing or coming into land. Well, this is Rose Bay. I wonder when we actually turn in. Oh, here we go. We're slowing down now. Just saw a couple of racing yachts fly past in the background. One of them capsized. There we go, there's a bridge, and Sydney on that side, North Sydney on that side. Oh look, there's one of those racing yachts. Oh, that one capsized as well. Head up the front of the ferry again and see what's happening up there. A few of these people have cleared out off these seats. Must have been too cold for them. Plenty of eating options along Rose Bay. If you want to come and jump off the ferry here and have something to eat, there's a couple of restaurants right on the water. And there's the Motor Yacht Club over this way over here. What's that ferry called? Bungaree. I wonder if we do a tag team with them, or whether we have to wait till they leave. Yeah, they're leaving, so we'll take over from them. It's a good dad over there on the wharf, helping his daughter fish. School holidays in Sydney and New South Wales at the moment. Winter holidays. Here goes that bungaree, and then we're going to dock. Doesn't look like there's many people waiting to go to Watson's Bay. I think most of them are waiting to go back to the city. Here comes the seaplane. Don't know whether you can see it. Must drop down pretty fast to land. Oh, here we go. It's coming in now. There it goes. And getting closer. And touchdown. Beautiful. I might switch off the film now and rejoin you after we leave Rose Bay. Alright, out of the back of the boat after leaving Rose Bay now. Holding on to my hat, hoping it doesn't blow off. Should probably film from this direction as well, so sit down and catch some of the punters on the ferry. What do we got up the top there? We've got the Indigenous flag, the Australian flag, and I don't know what that other flag is. Must be some sort of maritime flag. It's got a Southern Cross on it, but then I don't know what the other insignia means. Geez, we're really powering into Watson's Bay. Here we go, coming into Watson's Bay now. See on the end of the wharf over there, they've got a massive sign saying no waves. So that's telling the ferry driver to watch out. There's a few people waiting on the wharf to go back the other way. There's a Vaucluse Yacht Club over there. After we grab some lunch, we'll have a bit of a walk around. Oh, what a delight. I haven't been to Watson's Bay for ages. Should go alright. Yeah, look at all those punters waiting to go back to the city. See you soon when we get onto the wharf. Just going to get some seafood from the takeaway joint here. See what's on offer.
Do you want to go to the
Lining up to get the fish and chippies. That microphone work? Yeah. Decided we're going to get just get fish, pieces of fish and some chips. I should get the Doyles logo. Now we wait. Got my ticket here. Got 5 pieces of fish and some chips. All up it cost $41.35. Little place to get ice cream here. So what did I say? $41.35. It's not the cheapest fish and chips in the world, but I'm sure it'll be good. A few people dipping their feet in the water. I don't know why there's ducks swimming in salt water, but there you go. A few other people around enjoying their fish and chips in the sun in different locations around the park.
There is not much.
Just handed the voucher off so my family can watch out for it, and I just film a little bit of the promenade along Watson's Bay. That's what they call the beach club in there. It's another part where you can get some fish and chips and sit out in the sun. It's part of the restaurant coming up here under this marquee. Got the sign saying established 136 years. Some places up the top as well. Yeah, so certainly goes well, Doyles. Popular with everyone. A few Australian flags flapping around in the breeze. I haven't done the weather yet, have I? Should do the weather for you. Oh, I hope these seagulls don't crap on HW. Oh, where should I go to avoid them? Oh. Just face out to the wharf while I look at the weather. It's 18 degrees Celsius again. And if I remember right, I think that's around 64 Fahrenheit, yeah? So definitely for Sydney a winter's day. The wind's from the west, 19 kilometres an hour. That's why the water's flat but still choppy with the breeze gusting around. So let me get back over to Doyle's Fishermans Wharf and wait for the takeaway fish and chips to arrive, or takeout for you North Americans. Then I think we'll find somewhere nice in the park in the sun to sit down and eat it. Alright, let's have a look at this seafood that I've ordered. Someone open it for me so I can see it. Got some chippies. And there is the fish. Looks delicious. Not usually into fish and chips that much, but I'm starving today. I'll see you after this, after we've devoured it. And just like that, the seafood is demolished. And I can attest to the quality of it. The old Doyles is still churning out delicious fish and chips. So when you're in Sydney, come get around Doyles. These seagulls have been blowing up, going, where's my seafood, where's my chippies? They come and land on the table and screech. We're going to head up the road here in a minute and go and have a look at the gap. The infamous gap at Watson's Bay. Oh, this one's blowing up now. So where's my chips? Being the school holidays, it's quite busy. There's a lot of families about. I'm going to go and water the horses and then head up to the gap. I have to go along to the Watson's Bay baths to find a restroom, apparently. There's nothing down at the wharf or anything. Not that we can see anyway. A few punters playing on the beach, picking up sticks drawn in the sand. It's lovely big fig trees that we're passing under. Another little restaurant over here next to the Watson's Bay Library where you can get coffee, pizza, hot chips by the looks of it. Be a nice place to sit down. Oh, there's the bathrooms over there. Alright, finished watering the horses. Gonna start heading up to the gap. Just trying to see the indicator to see if my microphone's on, because I had to change the battery. Yeah, so the Watsons Bay Gap is infamous and famous, both the negative and the positive. Unfortunately, it's a place in the past where a lot of poor souls have chosen to end their life, and also where there's been some possible murders as well. So if you're that way inclined, I suggest you talk to somebody first. There's a lot of different helplines available in every country around the world. So before you put an end to everything, speak to someone first. Someone will have a suggestion or a recommendation for you to solve whatever issues you've got going on. So let's get up there. Tell you what, it's delightful in the sun, not so much in the shade. Just look around, see if the others are following me. I was about to say, I haven't seen many dogs around, and then a dog comes straight into my view. Plenty of delightful pine trees around of all different species. There's a couple of Lord Howe pines that I've seen. There's a couple of European pines. And there's the Moreton Bay fig trees that we've seen as well. Certainly a beautiful park at Watsons Bay. Coming up to this gap, it reminds me of my auntie, who's she's passed away a number of years ago now, but at one stage she was a single mum for a while, and she had 2 little girls, and she used to get frustrated looking after them, and she'd scream out, "Oh, wish you kids would grow up. I'm going to jump off the gap,"
25.
referring to the gap up here. And the kids made a game out of it. And they used to call it, instead of gap, they'd call it the gas. They're going to jump off the gas. And they jump off the end of the bed. Pretend that was the cliff face. It was quite amusing. So this place certainly reminds me of her. So to give you an indication of this place's past, you see there's a emergency phone set up for Lifeline, which is one of those places that you can get help. See? So certainly use those services if you're feeling a bit depressed before you come over here. Oh, look at that. The story here says in 1960 Alfred Hitchcock was in Sydney to promote his film Psycho, and he visited this spot, and he insisted on perching himself on the railing to have his photo taken, which was quite dangerous, but there you go. There's various locations along this section of rock face, which is called the Gap. I'm going to try to get up a bit higher. See this cliff face over here has got quite a height to it, and it's got a rock shelf at the bottom. I'll leave the rest up to your imagination. Here's a few more cameras keeping an eye on people. Jeez, look at this rock face here. It's just sheared off. It's like a big knife's come down and just cut a slice off it. There's some of it sitting at the bottom over there. I think I've mentioned before, these massive big boulders down here, you'd look at that and go, oh, that's just erosion. They're falling off because of erosion. But there's plenty of people, including university professors in Sydney, who believe this was a result of a massive tsunami back in the history that caused this rock face to break off. I can't remember which university it was in particular that the guy was a proponent of that theory, but given the size of them, it's quite possible. And I look back to the city again over there. Probably getting blasted by the sun now walking up here, apologies. Looks like the section I wanted to go to is actually blocked off. This section of Watson's Bay is part of the National Park too. So there's no building along here. It's another decent cliff face over the other side. See a cheeky fisherman out there. I know what they're trying to catch. Oh, there's a camera pole over the other side too, and also up here where I wanted to go, but it looks like it's blocked off. So yeah, I think that's enough of the Gap. Oh, one thing I've never pointed out as well in any of my videos, I always look out here at the ocean and I say, oh, here's the Pacific Ocean. And one thing I should point out is, yeah, it's the Pacific Ocean, but it's also the Tasman Sea. So the Tasman Sea actually extends up the coast here, and they don't really make a big deal of it because the Tasman Sea is considered part of the Pacific Ocean. So still the Pacific Ocean, but also the Tasman Sea. So there you go. That's enough of the Gap for now. I'll rejoin you when I find a Nectar. I was going to have a Nectar here in Watson's Bay, but I've changed my mind. I'm going to head back to the city before there's a mass exodus from here. Get a Nectar over there somewhere in the city. Take a few more clips over there. Get the brats and ice cream. There's the shadow of the hotel at Watson's Bay over there, which is pretty sure also owned by Doyles. Let's get down to the wharf and get back on the ferry. Oh, here it comes now. I can see it coming in. Alright, I'll see you soon. Same ferry on the way back. May Gibbs. We did see that other ferry, so there must be two that just go backwards and forwards, but we've got the May Gibbs again. You want to go in the front, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll see, but it looks like they're all taken already. See you later, Watson's Bay. Look at those flags flapping around up there. Alright, see you back in Sidra soon. Tell you what, it's bloody windy out on the back deck of the May Gibbs. There she is, the Opera House. Tell you what, I need a Nectar stat. Nectar. I've walked past here a few times, but I've never come in here. I'm in the Grumpy Baker, so I thought I'd stop and get my flat white here after our adventure on the harbour. Got the baking ovens over here. Preparation area there. Got a few baked goods left over. A couple of pasties, sausage rolls, cheese stick. There's my delicious flat white being made over there now. The Grumpy Baker. Great, thank you. Thanks very much. Alright, see? It's off the Tank Stream Way, remember? So, cheers. I'll see you again soon and I'll say goodbye to you. Just realised I made an error there. Not Tank Stream Way, Abercrombie Lane is where the Grumpy Baker is. So I might jump out to George Street and say goodbye to you there. Just put my coffee down on the steps of the establishment. Look down towards the rock side of George Street. And I'll thank you for coming on the trip out to Watson's Bay on the harbour today. Hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next vid. The video is over.